Hi, welcome to Bookie. Today we will unlock the book Change Anything, The New Science of Personal Success. Many years ago, the famous marshmallow psychological experiment revealed to people the key characteristics and great strengths of human willpower. You may remember that we introduced this study in the Bookie of Willpower, Rediscovering the Greatest Human Strength. During this experiment, kids were asked to sit down with a marshmallow in front of them, and were promised to be given more marshmallows if they could resist their temptation to eat it. As you could imagine, some kids ate the marshmallow in front of them, and some didn't. In the next 2 decades following the experiment, the researchers did follow-up studies of the kids. They found that kids who had chosen to wait for more marshmallows now had better academic performance and more harmonious social relationships. Also, they did better at work and had a higher degree of happiness in their lives. The researchers thus concluded that being able to delay gratification could significantly influence one's personal success. That is to say, people with stronger willpower are better equipped to overcome challenges and thus are more likely to succeed. Based on this conclusion, people naturally believe that their weak willpower is to blame when they can't overcome difficulties, resist temptations, or change their bad habits. Therefore, a vicious cycle continues to affect many of us. For instance, we hastily make a personal financial plan in the hopes of saving some money, but we simply forget about it the moment we see something we want. We vow to lose some weight but easily surrender our willpower in front of delicious food. People often want to change, yet end up in failure. So is it actually our lack of willpower that stops us from making any real change? Truth is relative. The willpower theory that was once deemed a guiding principle is challenged by researchers today. They argue that the willpower theory is in fact misleading and ungrounded. The researchers that did the willpower study assumed that the kids who resisted temptations were born with more willpower and were innately stronger. But they failed to realize that changes in human behavior result from the influence of multiple elements. Only by identifying the sources of influence during crucial moments can people better make a change and thus take control of their behaviors and habits. This book presents a study done on more than 5,000 changers and identifies 6 sources of influence that affect human behaviors. By knowing how the 6 sources of influence work, we can find our vital behaviors and create our own plan for change, thus achieving personal success. This book was co-written by 5 authors: Kerry Patterson, Joseph Grenny, David Maxfield, Ron McMillan, and Al Switzler. They have also co-written 3 other New York Times bestsellers, including Crucial Confrontations, Crucial Conversations, and Influencer. In this Bookie, we'll explore the major points of this book through 3 parts. Part 1: Use personal sources of influence to change anything. Part 2: Use the other sources of influence to change anything. Part 3: How to change personal behaviors. In total, the authors identify 6 sources of influence that affect personal behaviors. They are personal motivation, personal ability, social motivation, social ability, structural motivation, and structural ability. Let's focus on the first 2 sources and see how we can use them to make personal changes. The first one deals with personal motivation. We can try to love what we hate by enhancing our personal motivation. Let's begin with a story. In the city of Rio de Janeiro lives a garbage sorter named Walter dos Santos. Every day he puts on a pair of tattered gloves and picks through a mammoth garbage dump. For most of us this would be a disgusting job, but Walter enjoys it. He even states that he's been a sorter there for 26 years and he's proud of it. In this story, Walter takes satisfaction from a job that many would find disgusting. This satisfaction changes his attitude towards his work and gives him motivation that allows him to enjoy his work. As a matter of fact, it's not easy to love what you hate. To do that, one tacit that the authors teach us is to visit your default future. That entails us to actively